Hello and welcome in. How's everyone doing today? I hope you are well. My name is Sarah and this is Cajun Lantern, where I channel messages from Spirit. And if the title drew you in, well, welcome. There is a message here for you. And if you get settled into the reading and find it's really not your cup of tea, no worries. Maybe we'll catch you next time. Okay, so the energy that is here today to say hello to us is the Green Woman. And this is from the Fairies Oracle deck. And this is a wild, carefree, dynamic energy. It's natural magic. It's gratitude. It's creativity, it's unbridled passion for a creative project. So the person that I'm speaking to today, you're likely someone who either is a very creative person and you've always allowed your creativity to strengthen who you are as a person, and you've never been able to really disconnect where you are and where your creativity you mesh together, right? There's a deep connection there with your creativity. So maybe you're discovering a new way, a new maybe healing modality along with your creativity, and maybe it's something that you're using for therapy. It could be such a thing that you have a calling to share a message with people. So perhaps that's on social media. Maybe you're writing a book. Maybe you're a songwriter or a poet. Whatever it is, the creative endeavors that you are participating in now, they're asking for expansion. Not only the creative path, but you as a creative person, that creativeness is being asked to be expanded at this time. Let's see how many times I can say creative in this video. It's definitely a energy about moving yourself in a direction and having no other responsibilities but yourself. This is, it's not selfish. It is full of self, about the self. So let's be careful not to get hung up on the idea of doing something for ourselves that is all about us. Because a lot of times we are conditioned to believe that when we put ourselves first, that it's a bad thing, that we're being selfish in some way. That is the way that we are conditioned to believe, but that is not true. It's a tired adage that I bring up a lot, but when we're flying somewhere, we're often told, to put the oxygen mask on ourselves first and then help the person next to us. The same can be said in life. Many times we are in roles of caretakers, and there's so much that we are expected to handle. And we often don't refuel and recharge ourselves. So we're running on very low. And yet we are upset with ourselves when we take out time for ourselves. Like, we shouldn't have to do this. I'm not sure where we get that idea from, because we would certainly not forego charging our cell phone. If it were down to 2% battery, we wouldn't necessarily be upset with our phone. We would just say, oh, I forgot to charge my phone. I need to do that so that it works properly for me, right? We probably aren't the kind of people that frequently get upset if something depletes. Like if we run out of something, we need to replace it. And yet we often blame ourselves or are hard on ourselves when we need rest and relaxation. So this card, the Green Woman, the energy behind that is allowing ourselves to release the constraints of artificial rules and conditions that we put on ourselves, limitations. Right now, we're being asked by Spirit to seek the path to realizing our own potential and finding our own fulfillment. And this card speaks to me of like an energetic garden, kind of like what we were just talking about with recharging, making sure that we're charged up, that we're refueled, that we're revitalized, so that we have the energy to care for others. So how do we do that? We need to get grounded. What does that look like? Again, it's going to be uncomfortable for some, but it's detachment. It's unplugging. It is taking the time out away from things that don't serve us. So, for instance, endless scrolling, watching programs or videos that maybe don't serve our greater good. It might, it's like energetic junk food. Like we watch certain shows because they make us feel good, but they don't necessarily move us forward energetically. They might even keep us in like kind of a lower vibration. For instance, nothing against reality TV, but it's not exactly a program that you watch to make you feel better about yourself. And sometimes I think that some of those shows and videos are about tearing people down instead of elevating them. And that's just one of many examples of things that we could be, involved with without even really realizing what we're immersing ourselves in. So that might look like us not watching these guilty pleasure kind of shows, especially if they're really not serving where we want to go. In order for us to succeed and reach the goals that we have set out for ourselves, we have to completely change our environment. We can't just expect to grow and yet we're still, in the same tired situation in a comfort zone. This energy is not comfortable. This energy is, I'm doing what I'm doing because it's bettering my situation, because I have big plans for myself, and I'm really sick and tired of staying stuck. So I'm busting out, and I'm going to do something awesome for myself. And what that looks like is putting myself first. And I'm not going to lie, this is terrifying, especially if you are the type of person that was raised to think that people were coming to save you. And I think a lot of us in the back of our minds, especially if we grew up watching certain television shows, certain movies, reading certain books, that there's a hero coming to save the maiden that's in distress, and so I think that we need to retrain our brains to understand that we need to be able to stand on our own 2 feet, and we are capable of doing that. Gone are the days where we felt like, because we were born in a certain body, we had to also behave in a certain way and dress a certain way and, be a certain way. However, society told us we had to operate and be like we did those things. We did that to survive, right? And now we're coming to a time where things are shifting and we are being allowed, or it's being encouraged. It's less of a detriment to us to be bold, to be ourselves. It's time to let your freak flag fly, right? Okay. So, with the energy of this green woman, this is a reading about creativity. This is for those of you who know something different is going on in your life, but maybe you can't quite put your finger on what it is. Like, things are changing. Maybe something really big happened to you recently, and you're standing back and you're kind of trying to gain your balance and you're trying to figure out what to do next, right? Now is the time to look inward deeply and ask yourself, what do I want my future to look like? Right now is the time for lots of changes. And you want to be on the positive side of the things going on right now. You, unless you've been living under a rock, you know things are really difficult in the world. And they've been difficult for a really long time. But I think we're all just sort of feeling anxious, or like we're waiting just for that other shoe to drop, because we know it can't go on much longer. It just feels impossible. And for those of us who really deeply feel this unease, you're the people I'm speaking to, because you recognize that if we change ourselves and heal ourselves, then we can change the world. And it's my belief that when we change who we are and heal the things that we've gone through in our lives, when we've done the healing work, the shadow work, the inner child work, and I'm not saying it's all done, right? There's always something to work on. But for the most part, when you've done the bulk of that work that has kept you stuck in a situation, in a life that it wasn't exactly what you had hoped for, when you do that work, then things materialize for you that could have never happened to you before. And in that way, we are raising the vibration of the planet. When we are happy and healed, we can raise children that are happy and healed, instead of raising children that eventually they're going to have to be in therapy for 25 years to figure out why they can't seem to get beyond something holding them back. It's my belief that we carry our ancestors in us, in our blood, in our cells, our DNA, our bones. And we are brought up from people, we are brought up with situations of traumatized people who have not processed those traumas. And so our parents, even though they did the best they could, they had traumas that they didn't process, and then they raised us. And we as children had to survive that. Some of us survived unnameable things that no human should have had to suffer through. Some of us had to live through those things. Many of us here listening have stories that are just, well, they're the stories that shaped who we are. And that's why we are looking for something to maybe hang our hopes on. We feel like we have something to offer others. And so all of that to say, this spirit of wildness, of wanting to do what you've always wished that you could accomplish, it's up to us to root out what we don't want in ourselves and to nurture what we do want in ourselves. And so if you're the kind of person who you've done as much as you can do at this time, and you're just sort of sitting and waiting, maybe you've been at this spiritual work for quite a long time, and you came upon this video really not knowing what it is that you've been doing, but you know that you've changed in some way. Or maybe you've seen something that you can't unsee, and it has changed who you are as a person. And so now you're just naturally wondering what's next for you. But you've got this ability inside of you that you are who you are, and you aren't going to change who you are, even though people find it awkward or uncomfortable to be around you, because maybe you think things differently. You think about things differently than most people do. And maybe you've been kind of isolated. You're doing the work and you've been very patient And maybe you're kind of now to the point where you're just like, okay, well, what's next for me? So I can tell you that you've definitely been in an energy with the Page of Cups where maybe you're feeling you've been through a lot of self-work, and you're finally feeling like kind of like dreamy, and your head has been in the clouds. You're thinking of all these ideas that you could do. You're getting downloads, perhaps. You're getting new ideas. For those of you who have had psychic abilities, you're finding that those abilities are taking more of, they're amping up. They're more intense. You're getting lots of downloads. You're getting, maybe your dreams are very intense right now. Make sure you're writing your dreams down. If there's certain imagery or symbols that keep coming up for you, take notice of that. Those are synchronicities. You might be coming across numbers that you're seeing all the time. Hopefully I'll remember to, but in the end, I will draw an angel number, see what kind of numbers are coming up for this collective. The challenge that you're facing right now, well, my goodness, is the Magician. Maybe you're struggling with these newfound abilities and gifts that you have been getting. Lots of butterfly imagery, transformation. Perhaps you've been seeing butterflies. Maybe you're overwhelmed with the amount of information, or maybe others are seeing some of the things happening to you, and they're recognizing that you have abilities that they can't deny any longer. I'm feeling like some of you kind of knew you had some abilities, but you were conditioned to believe that they were wrong or bad in some way. That's for some of you. I noticed that in the past you have gone into isolation. This reading is asking those of you who have been in isolation to now revisit the idea of coming out in order to help. Someone here is meditating a lot more, and they're having a breakthrough of some kind. Perhaps it's you wanted to meet your spirit guides, and you are working on that. You are definitely in a place of kind of trying to balance. You've got a few cards in this reading that speak to me of two different sides of the coin. You got the Chariot, black and white. You're ready to move forward with something, but you're almost like paralyzed because you're not sure what direction it will go, and you're trying to work through some loose ends. Someone here might have Cancer placements. And you also got the Moon. Someone here is trying to balance between their domestic self and their more untamed self. Wolves might be important to someone. Golden retrievers. And then right now we're in the middle of an eclipse season. We're in August of 2026 when this is being filmed. So there is that moon imagery here in the Moon card. In your future, it looks as if you have a soul tribe and harmony coming in for you. So this could even look like maybe a collaboration with someone, going along with this creative theme that is coming through. Perhaps you're developing new ideas with others. I'm seeing almost like a commune, like a utopia, a large space where people of very similar backgrounds or similar ideas for their future, what they want their children's lives to look like a farm of some kind where everybody has their own like plots of land, or like a urban homestead, kind of like taking old city blocks and turning them into farming, a place where people can go and farm or have gardens. I love that idea. Oh, I love that idea so much. And so a little about you. Again, the green woman card that came out, she gives me this Queen of Wands vibe too. The Queen of Wands, in the days of tarot, she just liked her cat, as I've mentioned before. And she didn't really care if people liked it or not. She liked her black cat, and she was keeping it. And so maybe there's something about us that someone that is important in our lives, maybe they're trying to hold us down. They don't like the way we speak, or we're too bold, or maybe they don't like our piercings or our tattoos or some other thing. Maybe it's our lifestyle. People don't like us because we don't believe the same things that they do. And we're being asked to embody this. I don't care what other people want, because what they want and what makes them uncomfortable about me, that's just shining a spotlight on what they need to work on. If they don't like how bold you are, then they have some sort of limitation or a block on the way that they think. Perhaps, they don't like bold women. They think women should be quiet and not speak their minds. Someone conditioned them to believe that. And we have to be careful to trace back the reasons why we are being stifled. Lots of times it's for control. People try to prevent other people from speaking up or acting out because they're afraid of what could happen. Because this is the way things are, this is the way things should be. That way of thinking is going away. Those who have always had sovereignty over us, they're starting to realize that the people are recognizing that they have sovereignty over themselves once they put themselves first. Because that's the natural way of the universe, is that once we do that, things just line up for us. They have to. It is part of being the I am. Recognizing that you are godlike. You have God within you. You are God. It's a very empowering place to be. And when you finally understand what all of that means, and this won't resonate for all, but if you're still here with me, you'll recognize that by putting yourself first, you are letting others know that they too have that opportunity to put themselves first, and that we all can heal ourselves and become whole and strong. And then we can meet others who also have done the work, and the things that we can come together and create, because they're whole and balanced. So that divine masculine, divine feminine aspects, and they're whole and they're balanced. And that's really the only way that humanity can become balanced, is when we all heal those aspects of us that have kept us stuck for millennia, right? So you are birthing something. That is very clear with the Empress card. Again, this is the theme of creativity. So I'm really sensing that someone here has a big project or something creative, a creative passion project. Um, or it could really just be that someone in your life is maybe pregnant, or maybe you are. And if you are looking to get pregnant, just know that this is a good indication that this is a possibility for you at this time. So if you're not looking to get pregnant, be careful. Okay. But this is such beautiful energy. You definitely have a clear path in mind. But you do have hopes and fears surrounding this. Maybe some of you are feeling like you will never quite learn everything that you need to learn. Maybe along with this creative aspect, there's also a business side. And maybe you would like to immerse yourself fully in the creative aspect and not have anything to do with the more technical parts, right? Well, you might have to either hire someone, or you might have to, oh, yes, you might have to actually do it yourself. And that's going to be part of that growth, right? Part of that wildness is jumping right in and doing something. And know that it's part of this path. It's going to benefit you in the long run. There are so many things that we can do that maybe feel impossible, but we live in a great time where we can, really just type out Google, how do I do XYZ to benefit myself? Or you can use AI, even if it's not your cup of tea. There are things that you can do that will make things so much easier on yourself. So don't limit yourself and say, I can't do this, because you're right. You're right. If you think you can't, you won't. You can't. But if you think that, yeah, that's hard, but I can do it, then you're right. You will. Right? Okay. So you might have to learn some new things. You might have to unlearn some other things. The Hierophant card, this is a card of like authority and doing things the way that they've always been done. It's maybe like religious beliefs or political. It's like construct, structure. And right now, things are just changing. We don't necessarily need to follow that anymore. So then we don't need to be afraid of that, though, because we are capable of learning new things. So don't let those small things stand in your way of meeting your dreams, making them come true. You are balancing and you're doing great. That might require you to maybe look at your schedule a little bit different. Maybe you've always done things a certain way, and now it's time to say, I'm really more of a morning person, so maybe I need to get the bulk of this thing done in the morning when I'm most awake and have the most vision. And then, of course, you're going to want to invite others. Maybe you have a friend that does do technical stuff a lot better than you do, and maybe you can offer to do something for them if they can in turn help you out with your project that you might need their assistance with. And if you don't have people in your life that are thinking the way that you now think, maybe you've lost a lot of friends during this hermit period. Maybe people fell away from your life because they just were not someone that you could trust anymore. Maybe you were betrayed by your friends or family, and now you're looking for people who measure up. That's wonderful. And you will find those people because they're here in the YouTube community. You can find like-minded people. Hopefully you can subscribe to my channel, but if this is not something that you can do or care to, there are many, many other people out there, and I hope you do find your tribe. I hope that you can find people that will support you in this beautiful creative journey that you're going through. I did say that I would draw an angel number at the end, but again, I just love this energy for this creative person that you're becoming. You're really putting your dreams out there. This is perhaps something that you've been wanting to do since you were a child, and maybe now the cards are starting to fall where they are supposed to for you. Things are finally starting to materialize. So Spirit, what is a number that we can be seeing around lately? I saw it and it fell on the floor, and now I don't see it. Okay, well, let's do another one. I think the number was 2323 as I saw it fall on the floor. Okay. What number? All right. The number 1616, and it says readjustments, overcoming obstacles, soulmates, romance, affection, support, comfort, renewal, reconnection. Your self-control is strong enough to set things right. A new romantic or platonic friendship is on the horizon, along with the opportunity to reconnect and start anew with someone from your past. Trust that everything will fall into place as you embrace these positive changes. So 1616, you might be seeing that number around somewhere. And let's get you guys one more card before you go. Let's get you a Wisdom of the Oracle. And we're just going to read the general message for you. And if you're still here, thank you so much for your support. I really appreciate it. Maybe leave me a comment down below and let me know how this message resonated. You got the card Flexible, and it's the number 19. And it says teachability, open-mindedness, being adaptable without compromising what's most important. So it says right now to be willing to learn new things, be teachable, malleable, yet firmly grounded in who you are. Common sense is important, but so is an open mind. Stay curious, stay open, stay aware. At this time, others will be more flexible with you too. And so when you or someone else becomes too rigid, you lose access to growth and untapped potential, and you find yourself in an us versus them scenario. So you're being asked to loosen up, open your mind and your heart, and see if there's a more flexible approach that's possible. Because when you're rigid, it will set you up not only for a fight, but there will be no winners. There will be only losers. So could you find a way to bring a result that is mutually beneficial by meeting in the middle? Spirit makes a great mediator. So that was the number 19, Flexible. So I hope you guys liked this reading. If the energy resonated for you, great. I hope we can connect again at another time. So we'll talk to you guys soon. Bye.